Mo showed up over there, and I doubt they had film in their camera.
Yeah, no, I think hired themselves a professional photographer over there.
They have indeed. They've hired themselves a professional photographer to take pictures of them instead. And,
oh, now he's telling the photographer how to take pictures. The professional
Brian
photographer.
Christopher over there directing traffic.
Oh, boy.
I tell you, I wish they do this somewhere besides in the studio when we're trying to get the show going. As a matter of fact, we'll just let them continue. But while they're doing, oh, look at that! When you look at that, can we get a shot?
Man, look at that! Christopher Flamingo, Harlem Knights, and Mike Samples. First family of wrestling. Anyway, they're here today and they're scheduled. We'll see the Harlem Knights. They got to get the gear on and be an opening bout today. Brian Christopher is scheduled for a bout. The Moondogs and Richard Lee, they're going to be here today as well. Get ready for the Moondogs PG-13. They're scheduled to be here as well. And don't forget the King, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett. They're right here today as well.
Ought to be a good one. Let's let that photo session just wind down, and we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, I tell you what, before we get action going here, I want to take just a moment to show you some action from just a few days ago. And this was a wild one. And when I tell you who's in it, you'll understand. Moondogs on one side, Harlem Knights on the other. Watch.
Splat nails away on Bobby Knight of the Harlem Knights. Drops the leg down on Bobby Knight. Splat again. Big splash. He's got him covered. Oh, boy. Here comes Flamingo and Christopher. Christopher with a metal jab. Nails big Moondog Splat with it. Nelson Knight of the Harlem Knights going to work on big Moondog Splat. They throw ball out of there. Flamingo, Christopher, Harlem Knights. Boy, they all jump on the Moondogs in there. 14 minutes, 56 seconds. Referee Paul Neighbors calls for the bell. Here comes half the King, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett.
Well, in the ring right now, we've got the opponents for the Harlem Knights. Here they come, led by Mike Samples. The big Harlem Knights at 850 pounds. Bobby Knight on the way to the ring says somebody's going to get beat up today. His brother Nelson, right there, the very large Nelson, climbing right up on the ring apron. And we are set to go with a one-fall 15-minute time limit match. Tim Sadler and Don Kelly awaiting the Harlem Knights, and I don't envy their position. Referee Kevin Christian calls for the bell, and here we go, Corey.
Yes, sir. We're underway with our opening bout of the day, and Mike Samples right along as usual.
Yeah, that's right. I'm right along ringside to tell you something. These two men in the first family are the muscle. You understand? They are the cornerstones of my first family, the greatest collection of wrestlers in the world. Just watch what happens to them, and watch this guy.
Yeah, look at Samples.
Watch Mike Samples.
Man over,
watch.
Man over here, you know, he's supposed to be out here managing, and that's it. Advice. That's all he's supposed to be out here for. Not only is he over here running his mouth, then he runs over there and interferes.
Well, yeah, we saw just
you've got 850 pounders here, and why do you need to get over there and interfere is what I don't understand.
Because the first family is going to take over the quick way. You understand? We're taking all shortcuts. We're going to do whatever we have to do to get rid of every single person with the unintelligence to step in the ring with us. These are my big men, the muscle. I've got other men in the first family to do other things for me. And I just want to tell you, Corey Macklin, and all the people watching, if you don't like to see violence, close your eyes.
Well, there's the admission from Mike Samples. They're going to take shortcuts if they have to.
I look at
they are going to dominate. Look at that.
Yeah, they're taking shortcuts, all right. They're taking them all courtesy of Mike Samples. Goes over and jabbing Don Kelly is what he's doing. Bobby Knight's choking him on the top rope. Big Nelson Knight is holding on to him. And Samples putting his 2 cents in it. Boy, the Harlem Knights and Mike Samples and this first family stuff is just about to get a little too deep. Let me tell you, these guys,
Well, it's one of those things where, you got to look out, because you not only having to wrestle the Harlem Knights as if that weren't bad enough for anybody, and you got Samples over in the corner over here. Look at that. I mean, the referee trying to keep things sorted out, and meanwhile, while his back is turned, Samples is beating up on this poor guy.
Samples, would you stay out of the bout in there, would you?
I'm just tired of everybody yelling at us. We are the wrestlers into the next century. We'll control this decade. We'll control the next century. We're the first family of wrestling. Understand it. We cannot be beat, and we will control and dominate.
Yeah, with all of those tactics you all use, they're interfering in the bout. I had Bobby Knight over just choking Timmy Sadler over there. The Harlem Knights, as you pointed out, Dave, a good point. They're 850 pounds in the combined team. Why do they do this kind of stuff? It's unnecessary.
No, it is just totally unnecessary. And look at this. Samples throwing Tim Sadler and a big Nelson Knight, who was waiting there with a clothesline on the floor down here. The action not even in the ring. Now the referee told him, come on, keep it in the ring. So they roll it in, and the other guy, Bobby, is waiting there for it.
It's just humiliating Timmy Sadler and Dunn Kelly is what they're doing there. Bobby Knight and Nelson Knight.
In its finest form, Dave Brown. I'm glad you're here today to witness it.
This is devastation, all right, but it's not in its finest form. It's in maybe one of its most disgusting forms.
These are wrestlers, and they're also mean, vicious men. Corey Macklin, I hope you don't say that we're ridiculous, because if you do, you're going to be the next man that I take to the ring.
Hey, come on, Samples. Keep your hands off over there, and keep your hands off the guys in the ring, too, while you're at it. Nelson Knight picks up Bobby Knight, throws him off the top rope, right on Timmy Sadler. Now, they got the bout pin. Yeah, he's got him. That's 1, 2, 3. Now they can get out of here. They got the win. The Harlem Knights and Mike Samples, part of the first family, and here with the 1, 2, 3. Now they can hightail it out of here.
What do you need to make the best hamburger in the business?
Back to USWA Championship Wrestling action. Speaking of action, there was a match between Jeff Jarrett and Brian Christopher. Just a couple of highlights. Take a look.
Hey, Jeff Jarrett! Don't let the referee stand in between me and you, punk. Don't let the referee stop this match. Well, then come on. Put that referee out of here. And me and you, boy. Me and you, boy.
Well, watch it, Jeff. Here comes Flamingo. At ringside, and he and Christopher plan to slam something on Jarrett in there. Flamingo comes in, Jeff sends him down, sends Christopher down, and look at Jeff Jarrett hold his own in there. Uh-oh. Here comes trouble, though. Here comes Bobby Knight of the Harlem Knights, and I'm sure Nelson Knight is not far behind. Flamingo and Bobby Knight jump on Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, here comes Big Nelson Knight. He finally makes it out of the aisle, and a big splash from Nelson Knight. The Moondogs and the King come out to help Jarrett.
P.D. Steele is in the ring right now, but on the way will be Brian Christopher, and Brian Christopher has Mike Samples with him. As if we hadn't seen enough of Samples moments ago on the Harlem Knights night. There he comes. Boy, he's happy. He's smiling. He's laughing. He's celebrating. What is this? Oh, man. Over insulting the fans.
Yeah, he's showing off his tights back there. He's got no touching on the back of his
Yeah, don't touch. Well, let's get him up in the ring. And
yeah, we see
see what it says. We see what it says. We know what you're doing, just insulting everybody. Just get in the ring. T.D. Steele is waiting for you right now. And we are set to go with a one-fall 15-minute time limit match. If Mr. Christopher will finally get the warm-up jacket off, hand it out to security. Ernie is waiting to collect it, and we will be underway. I don't know. You maybe not. Maybe the day that he beats you up. Let's find out. That's why we're having the match.
T.D. Steele.
Dave Brown, I had to come over here and tell you just how happy I am to have a man like Brian Christopher in the first family. The two big men, the Harlem Knights, I told you they're the muscle. They're the
muscle of the family, huh?
This man, he's the heart of the family. He tries so hard. He trains every day. He works out. He runs 20 miles a day. He has a great attitude, a nice person. I mean, he's what keeps us together, you know? I know that I'm the leader of this first family, and I advise him and help him, but he's the man that really holds us all together. I mean, he really is the heart, and I got to tell you, I'm so excited I can't hardly talk about him. Just watch how good he is.
You're saying he's a key link in the chain of the first family. Is that what you're saying?
Dave, you should be a philosopher. You're great, too. Well, Brian Christopher, really, I can't say enough good things about him. I'm going to go over to the ring and watch closely because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, okay, well, keep your eyes out for foreign objects because they always hear the heart. He's the hardware store of the first family.
And Samples make sure he watches over there. Hopefully, if he'll do that, he'll be doing 100, and he doesn't do it. Holding on to T.D. Steele tight already over there. T.D. comes out of the corner and shoves Christopher in there.
You know, the thing that bothers me about this first family situation, well, there are a lot of things that bother me, but one of them shows up, we get a match underway, and the next thing you know, there's interference from you, Mike Samples, and from half the rest of the first family come running into here.
Did you see T.D. Steele trying to try that funny stuff? Brian Christopher doesn't have to wrestle that way. Brian Christopher is a technical wrestler, you understand? Why? See how good he is? T.D.'s trying to cheat. I'm going to change his name to T.D. Plastic in a couple of minutes because we're going to get rid of him.
Well, let's see here, Mike Samples. Let's see. Brian Christopher, technical wrestler, doesn't have to cheat. Let's see him. Let's see him go through this match and win or lose. No matter who gets pinned, let's see Brian Christopher not cheat. Let's see him not pull out a chain. And let's not see anybody else from the first family come flying in here to his rescue. How about that? If you'll do that, you'll convince me.
You're exactly right. Christopher backing T.D. Steele up against the turnbuckles over there. T.D. should get a clean break, and Christopher... Christopher amazed at T.D. Steele going under the right hand and coming back with a left jab.
This kid doesn't understand. That's Brian Christopher in the ring. You don't do that. He's going to learn a lesson the hard way.
Man's behind T.D. Steele, but it's not working right now. Christopher, boy, just dumps him right down. Big backdrop from Brian Christopher.
Christopher he powered him over, too. He didn't just let him fall. I mean, he drove him into the mat.
Yeah, he standing right in the middle of the ring there. With that goofy laugh he's got.
Man.
Christopher and Steele. Christopher backs him up against the ropes. Couple of big knee lifts on T.D. Steele, and he takes T.D. reversal here. Christopher comes off, and a backdrop from T.D. Steele. Oh, T.D. with a couple of good moves in there, and Christopher, I think, is a little amazed at T.D. Steele here today, Dave.
He's upset. He's out of the ring. He's surprised. Technical wrestler Brian Christopher is not doing well. What illegal tackle?
Illegal move.
What?
I can't explain it. It's too complex to use. It's an illegal move. That's Brian Christopher. You do not do things like that to Brian Christopher, and I'm going to go over and make sure that Brian Christopher knows he has my okay to take this man down and pin him and hurt him and do whatever he wants to do.
Fans, I don't know if you could see it or not, but technical wrestler Brian Christopher, the heart of the first family, picked up a piece of ring rope that was laying over beside the ring, and I think he brought it into the ring with him, but I'm not sure.
His tights there,
yeah, look at that. Look at that. My goodness, that's like a 100-foot rope he's got there.
Oh, yeah.
That he has wrapped around his fist. Oh, look out. Look out. It's not 100 feet, but it's enough to choke T.D. Steele.
Look, he's just pulling on TD with all of that rope he's got, and TD's still down on the mat.
And look at Samples keeping the referee away from the action over here.
That's what he's doing.
Oh, man.
The first family in here, Brian Christopher with Mike Samples, and all of this stuff, boy, it's just gotten to be ridiculous is what it is. This first family thing and all of this stuff. Samples, I tell you, if you keep your guys in straight bouts in there, we'll probably get somewhere today.
You'd be better than this guy. He can't do anything, can he? He almost let TD Steele get a punch or something in.
Hey, you can't do much while you've got rope wrapped around your neck being choked. I don't guess you even saw that, probably, did you?
No, the referee distracted me, and I didn't see anything, Dave.
The referee distracted you. Boy, these guys, I'm telling you, it's like they don't understand. Oh, they only look at that. TD's got him down.
Yeah, he got him down, Dave, but it may have been a bad move for TD Steele because Christopher got up looking upset in there, gets up, and that big kick takes TD Steele down. He's coming on the top ropes now, Steele in the middle of the ring, and he dumps a big leg on TD Steele. He got him 1, 2, 3. Brian Christopher, there he is. He gets the win in a hand race with a victory over TD Steele in there.
He got him. I tell you, he had to choke him to get there. He had to have help from Mike Samples interfering from outside. But in the end, it is Brian Christopher of the first family, the heart of the first family, Samples says, with his hand raised in victory here today. Stay with us. We'll be... I believe we were close to a record this past week with disqualifications in USWA matches. Why? First family comes out and interferes in these matches. Another example right here. Jerry Lawler going against Scott Flamingo. Watch.
Takes Flamingo and Bulldogs. Scotty the body Flamingo. To reset the match. Lawler had Flamingo pinned. Had a pin 1, 2, 3, and the Christopher came running out here. Put Flamingo's foot on the bottom rope and told referee Paul Neighbors that, hey, he had his foot on the bottom rope, ref. Paul said restart it. Flamingo nails Lawler. Hey, but look at that. Lawler bottom rope that time. He had his foot on there. Hey. Christopher grabs the Unified World title. The King had his foot on the bottom rope. Paul Neighbors says, ring the bell, get it started again. Lawler grabs Flamingo. 1, 2. Here comes Christopher. He and Flamingo jump Lawler in 14:22. With the King into the rope. Double clothesline on Lawler. Flamingo and Christopher jump the King and Paul Neighbors. Jeff Jarrett out to help Lawler out. Here comes the big Harlem Knights and Mike Samples in there. Harlem Knights, Christopher and Flamingo, jumping Lawler and Jarrett. Here come the Moondogs.
Scotty Flamingo's headed this way. In the ring right now, Jerry Turman. Mike Samples behind Scotty Flamingo. So far today, it's been all first family. Harlem Knights out here running wild over their opponents. Brian Christopher had a bit of a tough time with TD Steele, but beat him.
What's the deal there? Where's my music at?
Music's playing.
I don't hear. I can't. Hey, Brown, you pull these shenanigans again. Me and you are going to have problems.
I hear the music.
Yeah, I hear it fine.
Folks at home hear the music? Yeah, the music's playing. I don't know. Scotty Flamingo, again, seeing things in his own way, in that first family way of Mike Samples. Well, I'll tell you what, these guys have been something else in the last few days in the USWA. Scotty Flamingo, oh yeah, the warm-up jacket is off. Mike Samples hens it outside the ring, along with the shades and all the other paraphernalia. And we are just about set, I believe. Jerry Turman waiting patiently over in the corner. There's the inspection. Boy, that's a good idea. Inspect the boots and everything of Scotty Flamingo. Last-minute instructions from Mike Samples. Referee Kevin Christian calls for the bell, and here we go, Corey.
Yes, sir. And here's Mike Samples.
I just got to tell you something else.
You keep interrupting him.
Yeah.
I know, but I've got to tell you something. You know, the big men, I told you they were the pillars. They're the muscle. Brian Christopher's the heart. This man, Scotty Flamingo, is the brains of the first family. He is so intelligent. I talked to him in the back. This man is well-read. He speaks about 5 languages. He is knowledgeable on every subject. You know what he needs? He needs Corey Macklin's job. Corey Macklin's not knowledgeable on anything. We get rid of him. We put Scotty Flamingo out here, and he could add some class to this. He is, I mean, super intelligence. You know what a super genius is? He's about 5 points above that. IQ that they can't even register. This man is great, and I'm going to help him to achieve success like he deserves. You know, Jerry Lawler thinks he's so smart, right? He thinks he's like King Solomon or somebody. This man has got more intelligence in his little finger than Jerry Lawler will ever have in his whole lifetime. So I'm just going to go to the ring now and watch this super intelligent person beat up this hick.
Well, boy, there's the description from Mike Samples, and you know, I don't know, he may be a sharp guy. I really haven't talked to Flamingo all that much. I don't think he can outsmart the king if you put him 1 against 1 and keep everybody else out of there. Hey, what are you doing? Get him out of here. The wrestling ring is up here.
Ring's over there. Come on now. Take him over there. Boy, it just takes Turman over here by the desk.
This guy, he's so ugly. Look at him. I'm begging you to give me a decent-looking opponent.
Come on, Scotty, get him in the ring.
Counts at 5. If you don't have him back in the ring by 10, you're going to be disqualified here.
Yeah, that's exactly
Samples.
right. Samples takes Turman and rolls him back in there. Boy, you guys, let me take you. You were just about...
Corey Macklin, now that guy was pretty ugly, and I want to apologize to everybody watching TV that they had to see that ugly kind of guy on TV. Scotty Flamingo just wanted everybody to know that he's pretty, and he wants to know why we can't have pretty opponents too.
Oh, come on, Mike, all that stuff. You guys aren't tops either, let me tell you. Scotty Flamingo over, kicking away, stomping away on Jerry Turman. Man.
Jerry Turman hadn't had a chance since the day began. They jumped him right at the opening bell. Scotty Flamingo went to work on him. They threw him out of the ring. Samples has been over there interfering.
Scotty the Body Flamingo wrestles out of Palm Beach, Florida. And he continues to work over Jerry Turman in there, and that's exactly what he's doing. Could have pinned Jerry in there. Had a victory. All these guys and all of this stuff they use. Drops the elbow down on Jerry Turman and doesn't go for the pin.
Nope, doesn't try to hold it for a 3 count. Probably could have. Never know now because he broke the cover and the match continues. And there's a knee to the midsection, and that's putting it high.
Yeah, Flamingo climbing the ropes now.
Here's Samples again.
Just an intelligent person wrestles intelligently. Have you seen how he has dominated the match with wrestling move after wrestling move? Not one time has he had to resort to any, cheating. He's a wrestler.
Well, he got the victory. 1, 2, 3. Scotty the Body Flamingo, another member of the first family, and he was along with Mike Samples, gets the 1, 2, 3 over Jerry Turman today.
First family wins again. USWA wrestling action will continue in a moment. Going to be a Wrestle War 93, Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Tell you what, all of this stuff with his first family may have a different look come Monday night.
Yeah.
Opening match of the night. Hey, this ought to be a good one right here. Jeff Gaylord going to be going against the Rock and Roll Phantom. Rock and Roll Phantom, of course, has been known to wield a guitar from time to time. Jeff Gaylord will be stepping into the ring to go against him in the opening match of Wrestle War 93. Scotty Flamingo will be in action against Randy Rockett in a single match. Then after that, you got Coco Ware coming in to go against Brian Christopher. The opening matches of the night, terrific matches.
Great bouts.
Not a weak one on the card Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. You follow that with a Southern title match. Jeff Jarrett will be going against one of the Harlem Knights, Bobby Knight, who's going to be challenging for the Southern heavyweight title. The unified title will be at stake. The other one of the Knights, the Harlem Knights, Nelson, the big one. Oh, man, he'll be going against Jerry the King Lawler. The King going to have to face the 500-pounder in there Monday night with a unified title on the line. Tag team titles at stake, too. Simply Divine, Rex King, and Steve Dahl with the tag team titles at stake. The Moondogs with Richard Lee. It all happens Monday during the Wrestle War. But the main event of the night, the big one, going to put them all in there. You know, we just talked about it. When you see part of the first family, you see all of them. And what's happened is that Lawler, Jarrett, Moondogs, Richard Lee, they've all had to go against them one or two at a time. But not this time. Monday night, you put them all in there. You got Samples. You got Flamingo. You got the Harlem Knights. You got Brian Christopher going against Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, the Moondogs, and Richard Lee. It's going to be some kind of night at Wrestle War 93 Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Coming this way right now, it's the first family. Photo session over. They have dominated so far USWA wrestling here today, and Mike Samples is smiling and happy about the whole thing.
Did you see that news? Wrestle War? In one night, we get rid of all the punks, geeks, idiots, and goofs in this company? I mean, look, these men, one night, one time in the ring with all those idiots. I feel so good. I'm just going to let the big men tell you exactly what they're going to do, and I'm going to have a party. This is great. We're going to get rid of all of them.
You celebrate, and let's see what they have to say. Nelson Knight.
Dave, the attack plan is simple. We have the advantage. We're going straight forward, and we're destroying all four of them. That's right.
Well, there's a word from the Harlem Knights right there. Scotty Flamingo.
This is great. But boys, the Harlem Knights, they gonna beat up on them rank, stank, ugly, nothing happened to Moondogs. And I'm gonna get a piece of the Burger King. Now, everybody start a little clip. The Burger King, I should be the unified world champion, and now I'm gonna humiliate you for ripping me off from the title. So Monday night, I'm gonna take the Burger King, and I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in his ugly face. Woo, baby! Party!
There's a word from Scotty. We have not heard from Mr. Christopher yet. I would assume he has a word, huh?
Stand by.
Brian Christopher.
Dave Brown. Now, just a few seconds ago, Corey Macklin told me that Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, and the Moondogs have a little surprise for the first family later on. A little surprise, Corey. Is that what you said? Well, Corey, let me ask you a question. Could the surprise be that they took a bath this morning? Could that be the surprise, huh? I want to know. Because Dave Brown, them stinking Moondogs, and I repeat the word stinking, they stink to high heaven. Every night, and it's true, correct me if I'm not wrong, every night when we have to walk down the aisle and get in the ring, it stinks like funk. The people smell like goats. You understand me? Goats. And then when you have to climb in the ring and you have to face the Moondogs, and believe it or not, they stink worse than the people sitting out in the crowd stink. How can you be expected to wrestle somebody that stinks that bad? And I know for a fact, everybody sitting at home, they have not taken a bath this morning, have they? Not a one of them. The first family have bathed today. We have showered. All of our bodies are sparkling clean, you understand? But the Moondogs, they've never taken a bath, and it seems to have rubbed off on Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett. Now, Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett, you say y'all have a big surprise. The first family are the smart ones around here. We pull the surprises, you understand me? The Harlem Knights are going to take care of the Moondogs in Wrestle War. Scotty Flamingo will take care of you, Jerry Lawler. And that leaves me, Brian Christopher, for you, sissy boy Jeff Jarrett. By the way, Jeff, Clorox called. They want a half a gallon back, baby.
Brian, excuse me. We're going to have
I'm not through talking.
Oh, I see what it is. Look at this. My goodness. Oh, me. You got the king, Jeff Jarrett, Richard Lee, the Moondogs. And they look like they are ready for a war, don't they? Wow.
Yeah, dig it. Yeah.
Hold on. King?
And hut! Dave Brown, we have stood back there and we have listened to those punks come out here and run their mouths about being the first family. We are sick and tired of listening to those punks. Are we sick and tired of listening to those punks? Yeah. We have decided to do something about it, Dave Brown. We are no longer going to take these actions, these tactics, this abuse from the so-called first family. So what I have done, Dave Brown, is I have reached back into the past and I have reinstituted Lawler's army. And you can see it standing right here next to you. And this army is ready to go to war. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to war with you punks. We're going to beat you at your own game. We're going to grind you into the ground. And we're going to leave you laying like the piles of garbage that you are. Now I want to introduce you to my army. Suck that gun in, boy. Because this right here is Jeff Jarrett. This is my own version of Rambo, and I want you to do a little guerrilla warfare on a punk named Brian Christopher. Tell us what you got in store for that punk.
Oh, I can't wait. Brian Christopher, in case you didn't know, for over a year, I was in boot camp with these guys.
That's right.
And for over a year, I took every board and every chair and every trash can and even the kitchen sink over my head. So believe me, Brian Christopher, when I say it, the general here has got his army ready. And we've been through living hell, Dave Brown, and one heck of a boot camp. So, boys, it's going to be Wrestle War 93, and oh, I can't wait. We just might have a little fire. We just might have a little boards, a little chairs, a little cans. You never know what's going to happen. Bombs might explode. Right, General?
You got it right. Now I want to introduce you to this gentleman right here. This is my version of General Schwarzkopf because he is the brain behind the brawn. He is the man to make the Moondogs go. And you got your work cut out for you. But I want you to make short work. I want you to make a chump out of this Mike Samples. Tell us, Mr. Lee, what you got in store for Mike Samples.
Oh, King, let me tell you something. Mike Samples, I have never been a boxer, brother, and you've boxed me all around the territory. But one thing I've always been, brother, is I've always been a back alley street fighter, and this is right up my alley, baby. I got two of the baddest people in professional wrestling on my left. I got the other two baddest people on my right, baby. And Mike Samples, while they're beating the brains out of your goon squad, brother, I'm going to be beating your head in.
Yeah. Come right down here, Dave Brown. I want you to take a good look at this. I want you to take a good look at this, First Family. You know, every good army has got to have somebody that's willing to get down in the trenches, somebody that's willing to do anything that it takes, somebody that's willing to sacrifice, somebody that's willing to put it all on the line. And this is the man. No, let me take that back. This is the dog that's willing to do it. Tell him about it. Dave Brown, last but certainly not least, this is the tank that anchors the army right here. Now this First Family think they got some brawn.
Well, let me tell you something. You ain't got nothing that'll match this Sherman tank right here, because when he gets ready to roll over you, there ain't gonna be nothing left. And you're gonna roll this week, aren't you, baby? Tell him how you're gonna roll. So let me tell you once and for all, the Army is ready for war. And like I said, we're gonna leave the first family laying flat on the ground this week, and that's a promise.
There they go. Lawler's Army put back together. Man, I remember Lawler's Army first time around. And I tell you what, they got the attitude. They got them thinking that they're a team. And better look out there, first family.
Yeah.
You're going to meet that Army somewhere down the road, and it's not going to be long.
Yeah, that's PG-13 in the ring. Here comes Randy Rockett and Nightmare Danny Davis. And we're underway, Dave, with tag team action immediately.
Boy, it didn't take long to get this one going, did it?
No,
Randy
sir.
Rockett and Danny Davis against PG-13. JC Ice is already out on the floor complaining here.
Yeah, first look at Randy Rockett in the USWA. And boy, does he come in looking good with Nightmare Danny Davis in there.
PG-13 in there strutting around the ring. And Danny Davis and Randy Rockett showed him absolutely no respect. All right, the bell has already sounded, so technically we are underway here. Looks like it'll be Wolfie D starting against Randy Rockett. And Scotty Flamingo is here. I tell you what, Mr. Samples was talking about your high level of intelligence, and you would be a fine commentator. We'll allow you to say a word or two during the match here if you would like.
Hey, if it wasn't for me, last week's show wouldn't have been no good, because I come out here and I did my commentary thing, and it was exciting. Hey, look at that in a handful of tights. And a boot to the gut. These guys wrestle illegal, this Rocket fella and his Nightmare. Look at this.
A body slam, nothing wrong with that.
And timeout, you heard it.
Oh, there's no timeout in wrestling matches, for heaven's sake. What is this?
What are you thinking about?
Hey, there's plenty of timeouts. They just called one. And I got a question. What was that ridiculous piece of refugees from Stalag 17 who was just out of Colonel Klink, General Burkhalter, the whole motley crew?
You can insult them all you want to, but I tell you what, you climb into the ring with that whole bunch together along with the first family, and you got yourself the makings of a real war, because the Army is going to come looking for all of you.
Man, those guys are refugees from Hogan's Heroes. That's a bunch of nonsense. They'll do nothing to the first family. Led by Mike Samples with my sheer brilliance, Brian Christopher's charisma, and the awesome might of the Harlem Knights, the two biggest men in the sport.
Well, you got a big team, there's no doubt about it. You got a good team, but you haven't faced the Army all together yet. We'll see what happens when that occurs. Meanwhile, in this match, you got Danny Davis making the tag on Randy Rockett and Wolfie D begging for mercy.
Look at that. All these illegal tags, guys are just jumping in the ring. It's preposterous, Dave Brown. I'd like to see some law and order. This referee's the worst. He's a disgrace to the sport.
Well, our guest commentator, Scotty Flamingo, has just insulted virtually everyone, except you and me, Corey, and I have a feeling that's not far behind.
Yeah,
You know, Dave Brown, if I were you, I would be mad at your barber, because he left a hole in your haircut.
Well, I knew it would be along sooner or later there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the ring, got an... was that hair pulling? Yeah, I think it was.
Full of hair was what that was.
Yeah.
Right there, another round of hair pulling by that Rocket kid. I don't like his looks one little bit.
The hair pulling was on the other side by Wolfie D.
Yeah. You guys are always trying to pin the blame on my buddies, the PG-13. Boy!
Not here to pin blame. We're here to call them as we see them. And you saw that one at home, fans, I'm sure. He had a handful of hair. Meanwhile, Randy Rockett working on JC Ice.
Randy Rockett looks good, too. First look at him in the USWA, and he and Danny Davis work together well. Big double elbow takes Ice down, and the cover.
I'm begging the referee to stop allowing all these illegal double-teaming maneuvers. I'm begging him.
You mean to tell me that you don't do that kind of stuff? You don't even think about it when you're wrestling on
How
Scotty?
can I double-team? I was in a singles match earlier, Corey Macklin. Come on, man. Think, man. Think.
Tell you one thing, last week I saw all of the first family in just about every bout, including you, that was going on last week.
Yeah.
Well, they deserved it. They're a bunch of no-good hooligans at Hogan's Heroes, Colonel Klink group they got there.
Randy Rockett continues to work on J.C. Ice. He's got him down, count of 2, but J.C. kicks out of it at the 2 count. I thought he had him there, Corey.
Yeah, I did too. Thought he would have rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3 in that.
Straight up pin, too. Flamingo could not have complained about that, could you, Scott?
Now, if they keep this up, they're going to snap poor J.C. Ice's arm in half.
Danny Davis leaps over, and look at that. Wolfie D catches him right in the back with a leg. Danny's out on the floor, wraps him into the ring post.
Yes, the tide has turned in favor of my dear, dear friends, the PG-13.
Danny Davis down on the floor, thrown out of the ring. Randy Rockett stepping back through. The referee sending him back out because...
Because what, Dave Brown? Spit it out, man.
Danny is the legal man in the ring.
Yeah, not only that, you talk about illegal tags and all of that stuff, Flamingo. What about PG-13 didn't even make a tag?
Turnabout is fair play, Mr. Macklin. Turnabout is fair play.
Davis back into the action here. Wolfie D working on it, back in the corner. PG-13, J.C. Ice walking down the apron. Yeah, what about that? J.C. celebrating a little bit now.
Hey! Oh, PG-13's in the house. Look at him. Look at Danny Davis. Split wide open. Wide open.
And you can thank PG-13 for that. J.C. Ice going to work on him now.
Yeah, J.C. choking Danny Davis with that.
Oh, and there goes Randy Rockett off the apron.
And he's back.
Look at that silly punk. Look at that. Stay out of the ring, kid.
Well,
you know what's good
I'll
for
tell you one thing. I like the looks of Randy Rockett in there. First look at him, and I think he's doing just fine in there, Scotty.
You would. Look at it. This has become a nightmare for Danny Davis. This has become his worst nightmare. Beat up by the PG-13 right here on local television. Of course, I'm a big national star myself, but here on local TV, he's getting the snot beat out of him. Ooh, not a pretty sight at all, Dave Brown.
Yeah, not quite as local as you might think. And Danny Davis is back on his feet, and oh my goodness, look out, they double team him.
Yeah.
How come you're not complaining about the double teaming from PG-13 here is what I want to know. Look at this, Davis coming back with a fist.
Yeah, Danny's trying to fight his way back. They got Danny busted open in there, too. And J.C. Ice choking away on Nightmare Danny Davis. Slams down a couple of big right irons on the Nightmare, whips him into the ropes. Big elbow and takes Danny. Yeah, all of that.
Look at my boys. Look at him step. Look at him step, Corey Macklin.
Sometimes you celebrate too early. Could that be the case here with PG-13? They feel like they got it in hand right now.
Their opponents are wrestling like they just walked out of detox.
So Wolfie D comes off the top rope, drops down on Nightmare Danny Davis, whips Danny in.
PG-13 move like a well-oiled machine. Look at it. Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. That is the essence. Just like the first family. We are a team, a unit. The most prestigious unit in the sport.
Oh, look at Nightmare Danny Davis fighting his way back. Lefts and rights, and trying to get over and tag his partner Randy Rockett in there. Randy goes over and grabs J.C. Ice.
Apparently Rockett's had about enough of this. He's just jumped into the fray. That referee ought to toss him out. J.C. Ice did it for him. Look at this.
J.C. Ice got Randy Rockett over here by the desk.
Man, look out.
Hey.
Hey, look at those illegal punches, Dave Brown. Somebody needs to put a stop to this.
Hey, come on, Flamingo, stay out of it. Now, if you want to be out here and comment, you stay out here and comment, but don't get involved in the action, or we'll ban you from the television station.
You saw those illegal punches. Somebody had to do something about it.
Legal punches? Who's the one that threw him out here to begin with? It was J.C. Ice.
He was in the ring illegally.
You're interfering illegally.
Hey, all right, stop it. All right, that's it. That's it. No more warnings. Either you get out of here right now, or you're not coming back to this television station. Out of here.
Yeah, he goes out of here, too. Oh, Scotty Flamingo knew he was up to no good when he first walked out here. Good move, too, Dave.
If those guys didn't have enough trouble, he has to get involved in the whole thing.
Yeah, all of that.
J.C. Ice and Wolfie D, and they're really working on Dan after they double-teamed him and hurt him early in the match.
I think you're about fed up with this first family as much as I am.
And
Boy,
I'd say
these
you about
guys.
had it with that Flamingo.
PG-13 now in there, double teaming Danny Davis. Randy Rockett is out after Flamingo jumped him from behind. They DDT Danny in the middle of the ring.
And that's the
no
thing.
control in there. Can't get any help for Danny.
They hurt Danny early. Randy was trying to help out, and then when Flamingo hit him not once but twice from behind, now he's hurt out here on the floor. So the team is not able to function here. The referee's calling for the bell.
Yeah. Well, Randy also. Hey, here comes the Master of Terror. Oh, look at
What's he doing in here? He's going after. He's going after PG-13.
Master of Terror jumps in. And boy, he's going after PG-13 in there, Dave. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm glad to see him.
Man, me too. I really thought he was going to come over and hammer Danny Davis. And the battles these guys have had.
Yes, sir. Oh!
But he's out here helping out Danny and Randy Rockett working against PG-13. I don't understand, but I'm with you. I'm glad to see it.
Yes, sir. It's good to have him to come out and help Danny out in there. Power slams JCI's. DDT, sir, Wolfie D. Boy, the Master of Terror comes in strong, jumping on PG-13 in there. Wolfie D gets up, heads out. There goes JCI. And it's good to see the Master of Terror just in the nick of time.
Yeah, it looks like we finally got PG-13 headed out of here. Wolfie D's got the hubcap, and there comes JC. Master of Terror's got him. Oh, we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Man, action coming up all around the USWA. Big action. Looking at one card right here that is going to be interesting. We'll talk about all of this. Corey, go right ahead.
Yeah, USWA Championship Wrestling is on tour, Dave. Thursday night, April 15th, Oxford, Mississippi, Ted Smith Coliseum. Get ready. The King, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, the Moondogs, Miss Texas, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and the Macho Man had some comments about Thursday night in Oxford. Here he is, Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah, the worst week in your lifetime, Jerry the King Lawler. Remember last time promoter Eddie Marlin, trying to kick me out of the building? Well, I told you I'd be back, but I'm back kind of differently than you thought I ever would. Never before in wrestling history, a back-to-back type situation where I'm going to be all over you like melting butter, Big Thursday, Ole Miss, Jerry Lawler versus the Macho Man Randy Savage, and I'm gonna dog you big time, Bring you all the way down within an inch of your life. And then Friday in Jonesboro, I'm telling you that I gotta go there, because that's when we're gonna have the funeral. We're gonna bring you all the way under, because you just did what you did, because you wanted to do it last time, hiding behind promoter Eddie Marlin. But now, in all my glory, I pronounce you out of wrestling, You're gonna retire on your own, because you're gonna get a room checked in at the hospital, one at Ole Miss and the other in Jonesboro, I'm the Macho Man, Randy Savage, your worst nightmare, and I'm coming there to Ole Miss and Jonesboro to do you in and bring you all the way down, because you can't handle what I got, dig it?
The Macho Man making the threats, King.
Oh, the Macho Man. He's just like Brian Christopher. He's just like the entire First Family. He shoots his mouth off. He loves to make threats. But what he's done is he's let that big alligator mouth overload that hummingbird rear end, because the King is coming after you, Macho Man. I'm not backing up. I'm coming right after you, and I'm going to get you Thursday night in Oxford, Mississippi. And like he said, it's not going to be over there because he's going to be in Jonesboro. I'm going to be there all day Friday, and that's going to cap off my, not just Friday, but my entire week when I get my hands on him in Jonesboro. So Thursday night, Oxford, Mississippi, and Friday in Jonesboro. Those are going to be some great days, are they not, Jeff?
That's exactly right. That's what I came out here to talk about, Dave. Friday, Eddie Marlin said the box office is going to open at 12 noon. He usually opens at 3, but it's going to open at 12 noon. It's going to be a great all-star card, like Jerry said. A lot of great matches. But the First Family, Wrestle War 93, Monday night. I can't wait, Dave.
All right, you're right. It's going to be a big one. You got a lot of things going on, King.
Well, that's exactly right. While we're talking about where we're going to be, I want to mention, of course, the ball season is getting ready to go. And, you know, Jeff, I guess I'm going to have to go back.
Army.
I've got the new name for the ball team, call them Lawler's Kings of Memphis. May have to go back to call them Lawler's Army once again. We're going to be down in Batesville, Mississippi next Sunday. Not tomorrow, but next Sunday we're going to be in Batesville, Mississippi. Going to be 3 big games down there, and the Punk, Brian, Christopher, and Scotty Flamingo also going to be there at Trussell Park at 2 p.m. Got a big triple header. I'm looking forward to that. Also, one other thing before I go. As soon as I leave here in just a few minutes, I'm fixing to head over to Brinkley, Arkansas. You know where Brinkley is? Sure do. Corey, you know where Brinkley, Arkansas is? You're going to want to go with me because they're going to have a big, huge baseball card show. I know you love baseball cards, don't you, Dave? Yeah. They got a big baseball card show going on all day today at the Western Sizzlin' right there. It's on exit 26 on I-40, Brinkley, Arkansas. As soon as I leave here, I'm heading to Brinkley. I'll be over there at about 1 o'clock. I'm going to be there for a couple hours. I'm going to have a lot of free tickets for all the fans that come by there at Brinkley, Arkansas this afternoon. Also, we'll see you next Sunday down there in Batesville at the ball game. Thursday in Oxford. Friday in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And Monday night, Memphis, Tennessee, Wrestle War. Are you ready for it, punks? I don't think you are, but the Army is.
The Army's right. Tell them the way they talk. They are ready. They are focused. Corey, we got lots more action coming up, though.
We have, Dave. We've got a lot of it. Thursday night in Oxford at Tad Smith Coliseum. Saw an Ole Miss student yesterday, and they're get up and ready for championship wrestling Thursday night in Oxford at Tad Smith Coliseum. Friday night, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Earl Bell Community Center there in Jonesboro as usual. Out on Church Street. Tickets on sale at Front Page Cafe, as Jeff Jarrett told you. Box office opens at 12 noon. The Macho Man, Randy Savage. Jeff's going to be there. Jeff Jarrett, the King. Jerry Lawler, big supercard. Friday night in Jonesboro, Thursday night in Oxford. Championship Wrestling on tour Thursday, April 22nd. West Memphis, Arkansas at the junior high school. Sponsored by the Band Booster Club there. Jeff Jarrett, Brian Christopher on the car. The Moondogs, Miss Texas, J.C. Ice. Also the Harlem Knights as well. All scheduled for West Memphis, Arkansas at the high school. Friday, April 23rd. Paragould, Arkansas. The King, Jerry Lawler, Hunky Tunk Man on the card as well. And many more USWA stars in Paragould, Arkansas. Friday night, April 23rd. Friday, April 30th in Thaxton, Mississippi. At the Thaxton Gym, the King, Jerry Lawler, Miss Texas. Also, Brian Christopher is going to be there as well. PG-13. Master Terror is going to be in Thaxton, Mississippi at the Thaxton Gym. And Championship Wrestling coming soon in May 7th. Friday night, May 7th in Selma, Tennessee at the McNair Central High School. Friday, May 14th in Carruthersville, Missouri. And as well, Friday, May 21st in Batesville, Mississippi. And don't forget, at 1 o'clock this afternoon, the Kings up in Brinkley, Arkansas, right around the Western Sizzling there. Is going to have some great things.
Right, don't be confused either. That's Batesville Wrestling on May 21st. And the softball game is next Sunday. Next Sunday is April 18th in Batesville, Mississippi at 2 o'clock there. Boy, you're right. A lot of action around the USWA.
Hey, don't forget Wrestle War Monday night.
That's right, Wrestle War 93. We got more action continuing here when we come back. Stay with us.
Dave, you know,
were you as surprised as I was to see Master of Terror show up out here?
Well, see, that's just the thing, Dave. Randy Rockett was my partner, and from what he told me back there, Scotty Flamingo had him tied up out here or something.
Out here on the floor, yeah.
I had no idea who came out and helped me. So as I was going to the back, some of the fans said the Master of Terror, and for some reason or other, that just didn't seem right to me. So what I did was I went in the back after I sat down and put a little ice on my head, and a couple of guys says, "Man, I can't believe it. The Master of Terror came out and helped you."
That's what we say.
Well, and you know, I was totally surprised. So what I did was I got Mr. Coffee, and I asked him to go find the Master of Terror because I wanted to talk to him. I mean, because for a man to come out and do that, for obviously no apparent reason, I wanted to know what was on his mind. So Mr. Coffee brought him down to the hallway. I met him, and I asked him. I says, "Tell me something. How come you came out and helped me after you and I have fought all over the USWA and had some of the most toughest, most brutal matches that have ever been in the USWA?" And he said, "It's plain and simple." He says, "You know, I don't like you." And he said, "You probably don't like me with good reason." He said, "But if anybody around this territory is going to beat you up and put you out of the USWA," he said, "me, the Master of Terror, I want to get credit for that." So I stopped and I looked at him and says, "Well, that don't make no sense. If you want me out of here, why wouldn't you let them guys beat me up?" He said, "Well, PG-13, all they do is stand around the dressing room. They brag and they talk, and all they do that funny, goofy walk of theirs." He says, all they want to do is just brag about how bad they are. He says, "No two punks are going to get rid of you." He said, "That's something right there that I want to do on my own." And I says, well, okay, but, you know, and then he turned and he left. You know, he paid me a good compliment. He doesn't know it, but for a man to come out and save me, knowing he's my mortal enemy, knowing that he does not like me at all, you came out and you helped me, and I want to thank you for it. But let me tell you something that you may not be thinking about. Right now, PG-13 are going to be after you, Master of Terror, because of what you've done to them. You stopped them from ending my career because they could have very well done it right here today. Well, I got news for you. When your back is turned, both of them will jump on you. So I got a proposition for you. If you're back there on the monitor listening, how about let's you and me, and I've already talked to Eddie Marlin. I called him on the phone. He couldn't be here today. I called him on the phone, explained to him what happened, and he said that if the Master of Terror would agree to it, he would add a match this week to the card, and it'd be the Master of Terror, Nightmare Danny Davis, against PG-13. Now, I'm going to tell you, Master of Terror, I'm going to be watching my back because I don't truly trust you, but I appreciate what you've done. But you've got to be watching your back because what you've done to PG-13, they're going to be after you. So I'm asking you this week if you'll be my partner, because that way we can rid the USWA, because it seems to me, from what I heard, you were pretty tough out here on those guys. So if you want to be my partner this week, you just come on out here, you stand out here by me and tell me, I'll shake your hand, we'll make the match, and we'll go on about our merry way. What about it, Dave?
That's fine. Are you sure you want to do that? Eddie, here he is right here. Let's see what he has to say.
What do you think? You and me together can get rid of PG-13. The choice is yours.
He didn't say anything. He just, I guess that means it's all right. He said that and then turns and walks away. And Danny? Danny's going to go check, he said. I think that means it's all right. So that, I guess we can count on that match.
With the full moon.
You know what that means? Look out, fans. It's time for them.
Scattered by the howling of a creature both beast and man. Got long, shaggy hair and carries a bone. Got great big fire red eyes. Cajun folks call them Moondogs. They rule the swamps tonight.
Richard Lee leading the Moondogs into action in the USWA.
Yeah, and the Scorpion makes a big mistake. He and the Shadow, boy, they go to jump on the Moondogs. I don't think I'd be thinking that at all. But they do, and it's a big mistake for the Scorpion and the Shadow, and the Moondogs go to work on both of them. Scorpion's out on the floor. Shadow comes off the ropes, and the Moondog just took that camouflage jacket off in there.
Yeah, they're still wearing the uniform of the Army. They were out here earlier, and I tell you what, look out. Oh, the big one, Splat.
The big splash from Moondog. Splat takes a Scorpion down. Splat's out on the floor with the Shadow. Nails him and reps him into the ring post. Oh, look out, Steve. Oh, like we got company. The Shadow now right into the desk here by the Moondog. The Moondogs and Richard Lee from the swamps of Louisiana. These guys are tough, let me tell you. They're looking for the First Family and Mike Samples, too.
The Shadow and the Scorpion walked into a hornet's nest here today because the Moondogs and Richard Lee and Lawler and Jeff Jarrett are all thinking First Family. And unfortunately, Shadow and Scorpion happened to get in the way of the dogs. And look out, the big old steel chair. The Moondogs don't mind using the chairs, the garbage cans, the boards, whatever they think it takes. They'll do it.
Talk about Wrestle War 93 in the USWA. Get ready, boy. The Moondogs and Richard Lee holding their own as they continue to just dominate the Scorpion and the Shadow in there. Tough day for the Scorpion and the Shadow. They woke up already on the wrong side, boy, for this day. When the Moondogs get a hold to you, let me tell you. Moondog spot. Got his foot down on the Shadow there, holding him down. And Splat comes with that big leg. Drops it down on the Scorpion. And the Scorpion is no small guy by any means himself, but that big leg of Moondog Splat, boy.
Boy, the crowd with the Moondogs. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Here comes the First Family.
Yep. Referee calls for the bell, and I knew we would see him again before it was over with. Mike Samples and this stupid First Family come out here again. Yeah, referee calling for the bell, and
the bell is already sounded. It's over.
Boy, they all jump on the Moondogs and Richard Lee. The First Family and Mike Samples out here.
They've got Moondog Spot over here. They had 3 of them holding him, while Flamingo and Brian Christopher work on him from inside there.
Yeah, we didn't try to get some help out here for the Moondogs. The big Harlem Knight, Nelson Knight, splashes Richard Lee in there. Yeah, well, Moondogs and Lee taking quite a beating from this First Family in here. Want to try to get some help for him as the First Family continues to beat up on Richard Lee and his Moondog. Like 3 against each one in there. The Shadow, the Scorpion, and Christopher all working over Moondog Spot right there.
What you got is 7 against 3. Oh, wait a minute. Look out. It's time to take out the trash.
Ho-ho! The General and Jeff Jarrett, the King and Jarrett, come in, trash cans and all, and there goes the First Family out of here.
The reinforcements arrived in the form of Lawler, Jarrett, and a couple of big old trash cans, and there went all the First Family. We're going to be back with more USWA action. Don't you dare go away. Referee is saying no more here. But Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, the Moondogs, and Richard Lee. Boy, look at that big old board across the shoulder of Moondog Spot, and Richard Lee is calling them out here.
Mike Samples, you listen up, brother, and you listen up real good, hot dog. The odds are even now. You're not going to jump anybody from the back. Let's not wait till Monday night, baby. Let's get the war started right now. Be a man. Get the punks out there, baby. But we're ready.
Well, I don't know if they're going to show up or not. I kind of doubt it. Mike Samples and the First Family being invited out here to get the war going. He said there's no point in waiting till Monday night. All right, Mike, you've heard the invitation.
Yeah, see, it's weapons night, huh? They came prepared with something extra. We wanted to wrestle. We wanted to be wrestlers. That's the way you want to do it? When I leave here, I'm going to a hardware store, and I'll get a pickup truckload of trash cans, boards, bricks, concrete blocks, chainsaws, hammers, anything I want to get. I will not stand by. These guys have got...
there goes Mike Samples as Lawler and Jarrett head this way with a couple of those trash cans. And
I just got one word to say, Brian Christopher. That's right. We're ready for war. The General wasn't kidding around. He means serious business. Boys, Monday night, Wrestle War. We're going to have some more cans, some more boards, some more chairs. Come on down, big boys. We'll start it right now. Monday night, the war's going to start, and Monday night, the war's going to end, because I can promise you this, there's going to be a big explosion at the Mid-South Coliseum, and the First Family ain't going to like it.
Monday night, quite a night at the Mid-South Coliseum coming up here. Let me just tell you about the entire card here before we run out of time. Opening match, you got Jeff Gaylord going against the Rock and Roll Phantom. Follow that with Scotty Flamingo against Randy Rockett. And the way Scotty Flamingo jumped Randy from behind on the floor a couple of times here today, I got to feel like Randy Rockett's going to be ready for Scotty Flamingo. Coco Beware against Brian Christopher. Southern title will be on the line as Bobby Knight, one of the Harlem Knights, will be going against Jeff Jarrett with a Southern title at stake. That added match, we're going to add the match here. PG-13 will have to face Danny Davis. It's an unlikely pairing, but Danny Davis's partner will be the Master of Terror. After that, the unified title is at stake. The King, Jerry Lawler, brings the belt, puts it on the line against Nelson Knight of the Harlem Knights. Tag team titles on the line. The Moondogs with Richard Lee against Simply Divine, Rex King, and Steve Dahl. Then you got the Wrestle War 93 main event. Lawler, Jarrett, Moondogs, Richard Lee against Mike Samples, Scotty Flamingo, Harlem Knights, Brian Christopher. 7:30, it all begins. Wrestle War 93, Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. We'll be back here in just a moment. Well, it's been quite a day here in USWA Championship Wrestling. I tell you what, this Wrestle War is going to be something else, let me tell you. Today, the action, the first family ran wild. You had the Harlem Knights in here in the opening match. They were going against a couple of guys in Tim Sadler and Don Kelly. And I tell you what, you got to give them an A just for showing up here today. But boy, look at this as Bobby Knight comes flying off the ropes, and it was not long after that as he just stands on the chest there, waits for the referee to count 1, 2, 3, and the Harlem Knights have a victory after dominating the match. Speaking of dominating, well, it wasn't quite the same domination that Brian Christopher had over T.D. Steele, but Brian Christopher always seems to find a way to be able to win the match. How did he do it? Well, he's choking him with a piece of rope that he found on the floor here. He got him hurt, and then he was able to spring off the ropes, get the count of 3, and that wrapped it up for Brian Christopher. Then Scotty Flamingo of the First Family was also in action here today. He was going against Jerry Turman. Came over here, and he and Mike Samples doubled up on Jerry Turman. They insulted him. They insulted everybody. That was Samples with a boot to the back there. They finally did get him back in the ring, and Scotty Flamingo with the pin. The First Family, they had a good day here today, I think they'll think. May not be that way when they have to face the whole Army in Wrestle War. We hope you'll join us next week for more USWA action. Until then, for Corey Macklin, I'm Dave Brown. So long, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.